Social fear killer, the one skill for unshakable confidence. I'm Mario Leone. Welcome to the Voices of Victory. Welcome to this particular episode. We're going to have a good time today. The first question I have for you is, what if confidence isn't something you actually build? What if confidence is something after you act? Because action creates evidence. And most people think that they need to feel confidence before they actually speak up, or before they start a conversation, or walk into a room full of strangers. I got news for you. That's backwards. The people who look confident aren't fearless. That's not what it's about. They've trained their brain to stop treating social situations like it's some kind of danger. And there's one simple skill that does it better than almost anything else. I call it dip your toe therapy. It comes from dip your toe therapy, believe it or not. Here's where it starts. Here's the problem. Your brain has one big fat job: to keep yourself safe and your nervous system safe. The problem is that it can't tell the difference between what a real threat is and an uncomfortable moment that actually happened. So your nervous system is completely firing. Your nervous system is introducing yourself to someone new, and it can feel out of sorts, like you're standing on the edge of a cliff. So what do most people actually do? They avoid it. They keep their mouth shut. They don't say anything. They wait. They tell themselves they'll do it later, maybe even leave. But every time you avoid a situation, your brain is learning. You're training your brain a dangerous lesson. And good things that we escape seem to be risky, but that fear gets stronger, not weaker. Here's the deal. Let's talk about it. Here's what psychology has actually found. Your fear gets smaller when you experience something and survive it. Not when you think about it. Not when you watch a video about it. Not when you prepare for it. When you actually do it. When you take action. This is a small bit of exposure. But most people get exposure all wrong. They don't dip their toe. They think they have to jump into the deep end of the pool. And that's why they actually fail. Instead, dip your toe. Dip your toe. Small. Easy. Just up to the ankles. Almost too easy. If talking to strangers absolutely scares you, don't try to give them a 2-hour speech. Just ask them one little question. Tomorrow, you could ask someone where they bought their coffee from. The next day, you can make a small comment. You could ask somebody for the time. It's the tiny wins. The tiny dip your toes. The tiny proof. Because evidence comes from action, and every successful interaction gives your brain a solid understanding. It understands that nothing bad happened. Then your brain says, I can handle this, because action creates evidence. And your brain will say, maybe this is not a dangerous thing. Maybe my nervous system is okay here. The science, in plain, straightforward English, is your brain learns more from experience than your actual thinking. You can tell yourself you're confident. You can affirmation your way through it 1,000 times. But one real world action will dig that deeper into your brain. Confidence isn't a feeling at first. Confidence is evidence. Confidence is evidence. Evidence comes from action. And that's all I'm going to say. It's so simple today. The goal isn't to become fearless like Jet Li. The goal is to stop waiting for the fear to leave you and just act. Don't jump into the deep end of the pool. Dip your toe. Dip your toe. Because confidence grows one little step at a time. And those little tiny steps, they change your brain, changes your entire life. If you have any questions, and if you've had experiences with this, comment. Tell me your story below. Feel free to let me know. Let me know in the comments of an experience that you've actually had. Take care. See you on the next episode. I'm Mario Leone, Voices of Victory. Don't forget to check out my podcast and Roku channel for the Voices of Victory podcast show. Take care. A lot of people can't tell the sharks from the guppies. And that's the exact reason as to why narcissists actually fool people. People assume that confidence and narcissism is actually the same. I'm Mario Leone, and welcome to the difference between narcissism and confidence. But one comes from security, and the other one comes from insecurity. They look very similar. And there's one simple test that actually exposes them separately. And a lot of folks don't notice it. So you got person A and person B. Imagine two people walking into a room. Both are successful. Both are doing quite well. Both are willing to speak up and both are assertive. When we look at them quick, fast, we notice something. They look identical at first glance, but then you pick up on something. Only one of them needs approval. And that is a major difference that separates the two of them. Confident people don't need to prove that they are valuable. They don't need to prove that they're strong. Confident people are grounded. Grounded in who they are. They accept who they are. Not everybody's going to agree with them, but they're okay with that. A narcissist needs constant confirmation that they're somehow valuable. A confident person has self-worth. Confident people don't need to prove that they are valuable. They don't need to prove that they are strong. Confident people are grounded. Grounded in who they are. They accept who they are. Not everybody's going to agree with them, but they're okay with that. A narcissist needs constant confirmation that they're somehow valuable. A narcissist needs validation. A confident person can be criticized and still understand who they are and know who they are and be grounded in who they are. That's why one of them can be very curious and the other is constantly on the defense. And when they're defensive, you can see their nervous system is very rattled. It's the difference between security and fragility. So the next time someone seems very confident, watch what happens when you actually challenge them. That's where the rubber meets the road. And that tells you everything. And if you ever wondered why criticism connects to people so much, feel free to watch my video on criticism. Have a great day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Check me out on Podbean. Check me out on Roku. You can download my Roku channel and just get all the audios from my podcast right through there. I think it's important for you to know this. Follow me. You keep trying to talk things out, but it falls apart. You walk away thinking, man, I could have did so much better. Did anyone even hear me? Your goal is simple. You want to speak up, stay calm, and not get pushed around. But most folks, they either blow up or stay way too quiet. Doesn't help anyone. But there's another path. Let's talk about DEAR. D is for describe. This is where you just lay out the facts and describe what is actually happening. E is for expression. You want to explain to them. When I don't express myself, I get frustrated. I want to be able to complete my thought. A is for ask for what you want. Can you please let me respond without actually interrupting? And if they interrupt again, you say, I'm still speaking. They interrupt one more time, I am still speaking. You can go a little louder. At that point, you can turn around and do an about face. R is the next letter, and R is for reinforcement. You want to say to them, I want to be able to understand you. This allows me to focus and it allows our conversations to work better. When things have the tendency to actually heat up, that's when you have to return back to the facts. You have to get right back to the facts and circle back to it. When you circle back to those facts, you're going to explain to them, I'm just pointing out what actually happened. Not what I think, but what actually happened. Some people will fall into denial. They'll start to, no, that's not true. We both know what happened. And when you say that, you have to say that very confidently. And when you say that confidently, they will start to cave in. We both know what we experienced. You have to have a walk-away point. And the walk-away point is crucial. It's a point in your mind when you're done speaking and it's time to exit the conversation. When you're having an honest conversation, there's no blame. There's no drama. It's all about maintaining honesty between you and the other person. That being said, you have to have that walk-away point in your mind as to when you're going to walk away. I'm Mario Leone, and this is the Voices of Victory channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.